Well, the NHL entry draft has completed and it was absolute chaos in Vegas. There were so many trades today, teams dumping salary, teams just acquiring all these assets. You have the Utah Hockey Club looking like they want to be a contender this year by picking up Sergachev and John Marino. You have teams dumping salary. You had the Vegas Golden Knights trade a guy right before he was scheduled to sign autographs for fans. Let's jump into the action here. Of course, for my Oilers fans, I will be discussing every single draft pick that the Oilers made in this video as well. And then I'll also quickly remind everyone that I do have a big video up tomorrow, Oilers free agent target video. So if you don't want to miss out on that, don't want to miss out on any of my off-season content, I guess you could say, make sure you hit like on the video, make sure you hit subscribe, tell all your friends. So as I mentioned, it was absolute chaos at the draft today. Tons of trades, and unfortunately, there's Logan Thompson of the Vegas Golden Knights. He was traded right before he was scheduled to sign autographs for the Vegas fans. And you know what? He was an absolute trooper, an absolute good sport. He decided to go up there and sign the autographs anyways. Obviously, you're going to do that as a player. He's probably pretty disappointed in the move, but, you know, I just think it's pretty interesting that Vegas would do that to a player right before that they were scheduled to sign autographs. Maybe they could have waited about an hour or so before making that trade. I guess Vegas really just wanted Logan Thompson gone. The Vegas Golden Knights are absolutely ruthless in how they treat their players, and Logan Thompson, I guess, was no exception to that rule. Now, other things of business to take care of, the amount of trades that happen. I'm not going to go in depth with all of them, but I will show everyone these trades. Boston traded Lauko to Minnesota for Vinny Lettieri. Washington acquired Logan Thompson for a third-round pick in this year's draft, and then a third-round pick in 2025. And then Tampa Bay, they got rid of Tanner Jeannot. We all know the trade that Tampa Bay made a couple years ago for Jeannot. It involved a first, a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth-round pick. Well, they get a fourth back and a second-round back for Tanner Jeannot. That is a cap dump. LA acquires Tanner Jeannot, big power forward. And then the Arizona Coyotes, which is the Utah Hockey Club now, they acquired John Marino and a fifth-round pick from New Jersey in exchange for a second-round pick this year and a second-round pick in 2025. And then the Coyotes also acquired, and I guess I should say the Utah Hockey Club, they acquired Mikhail Sergachev from the Tampa Bay Lightning. That got things kicked off real bright and early this morning. I woke up at about 9:30, 9:45 a.m., saw that deal, and I was like, okay, Utah means business. They traded Connor Geekie, JJ Moser, a second-round pick in 2025, and a fourth-round pick in this year's draft. Just absolutely chaotic stuff. And then more trades were coming very quickly, fast and furious. You had Washington. They acquired a third-round pick in exchange for a third and a fifth. My apologies, my throat there just decided I wanted to close up. Then you had Buffalo trade a pick for picks, and then you had Columbus exchange a pick for picks. And then the New Jersey Devils, they acquired Paul Cotter from the Vegas Golden Knights and a third-round pick for Akira Schmid, a goaltender, and Alexander Holtz. So, of course, Schmid will replace Logan Thompson. That's the type of deal that Vegas was making there. Florida, they acquire a second-round pick for two picks to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then the Philadelphia Flyers, they acquired a second-rounder for two picks to Nashville. A lot of exchanging of draft picks today. Nothing blockbuster like that Sergachev deal or the Marino deal. But yeah, there was more trades to be had. Philadelphia, a fourth-round pick for a fifth and a sixth. Chicago, a third-round pick for a third-round pick. Toronto, they acquired the rights to Chris Tanev, and it does sound like Toronto will be signing Chris Tanev long-term. It sounds like they may even go 7 or 8 years on Chris Tanev and try and keep that AAV, average annual value, very, very low. It remains to be seen. If they actually do that, I think that would be a mistake if Toronto were to go really long-term with Chris Tanev. That guy is one body check away from turning into dust from the Avengers, so maybe they hold off on signing him to an 8-year contract. And then San Jose acquired a third-round pick in exchange for 2 picks to the New Jersey Devils. So those are the major trades that have happened as of the recording of this video. It is 2:28 p.m. Mountain. There might have been a trade made as I was discussing and talking about all these trades, but I wanted to catch all of you up on that. Now, when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers and the draft picks that they made, the Oilers, of course, last night traded up in the draft with the Philadelphia Flyers. They acquired Sam O'Reilly at 32nd overall in exchange for a conditional 2025 first rounder. Now that I understand what the condition is on that draft pick, I'm not as, disgruntled about the trade. If the Oilers were to trade the 2026 first rounder at any point, then it automatically becomes a 2025 pick for Sam O'Reilly. And honestly, that's okay. My logic last night, and I had a few people being like, why are you so mad? It's literally just a nothing burger of a trade. I just didn't like tying up 2 draft picks in one single trade so that, if there was a trade down the line that the Oilers were trying to make to improve their team at the deadline, let's say, for example, they wouldn't be able to use either first rounder, but now Now we understand that they can. Again, my throat decides it's trying to close up here. Must have ate too many peanuts or something. So the Sam O'Reilly deal, not too bad. And I talked to some people who are in the know about Sam O'Reilly, who have seen him play a lot more than me. They say Sam O'Reilly is very good, probably close to NHL ready as well. And they think that he has more offensive upside. He's a very good defensive forward, it sounds like. Sounds like a terrific two-way player, someone that can slot in on the third line center position in a year or two. So honestly, that's all good news. Oilers fans that tuned into my video last night, I do apologize for being a little bit negative about that initial trade, but Sam O'Reilly sounds like a real good fit in Edmonton. And then today in the second round, they drafted goaltender Emil Vinny, 64th overall. Now, he was the top-ranked European goaltending prospect in this draft. Of course, Bakersfield is a little thin on goaltenders right now. Jack Campbell, he's either being traded or bought out. So with Olivier Rodrigue and Ryan Fanti down there, having Emil Vinny as well, just bolster the selection of goaltenders that the Oilers can start to develop and draft. And there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. I think that's a good draft pick for Edmonton. And then they didn't have a pick until the 5th round. They drafted Connor Clattenburg, 160th overall. And then in round 6, they drafted defenseman Albin Sundin, 183rd overall. Round 6, Dalen Wakely, 192nd overall. Round 7, forward William Nickel at 196th overall, and round 7, defenseman Bauer Barry, love that name, that might be my favorite name in the entire draft, 218th overall. When it comes to the draft picks that the Oilers made, I'm only familiar with Sam O'Reilly and Emil Vinny. However, there are a lot of people in the hockey sphere on Twitter, on YouTube, on Reddit, Oilers Nation. They're going to have a real good breakdown of these specific players. I personally have no scouting report on picks. Was it round 5, the 2 round 6 picks and 2 round 7 picks? I just don't know enough about these players to give my actual thoughts on them. Most of them are overagers, so they are not, freshly turned 18 players. Some of these players are 19, turning 20 this year. So maybe there's hope that they can just immediately jump down in Bakersfield. Bakersfield is pretty thin in terms of lineup and depth at the moment. So if that's what the Oilers are doing, just trying to get bodies down there, that also makes sense. But keep an eye out for articles from Oilers Nation, from Edmonton Journal, that sort of thing. Those writers, they're going to be all over this stuff. They're going to be all over the prospects, and they're going to be able to help you out a lot more than me. Once I know more about these players, of course, I will be able to give my say. But I don't want to talk about players if I don't know anything about them. And we'll leave it at that. Now, on quick little housekeeping news, Jeff Jackson last night after the draft in the first round, he reiterated that he thinks the Oilers are going to be bringing back most of their pending UFAs and try to run things back for the 2024-25 season. So it remains to be seen which UFAs will not come back, but it does sound like the Oilers are going to make a huge effort to try and bring back as many as possible and try and run things back. Of course, the Oilers were just one win away from winning the Stanley Cup. They were only one goal away from tying the thing in Game 7. The Oilers, as of right now, have about $10 million in cap space. Their roster size is 14 out of 23, contracts 30 out of 50, and I will have a full free agent target video tomorrow. I'm very much looking forward to that. If you are looking forward to the free agent target video tomorrow, make sure you hit like on this video. Make sure you hit subscribe if you are not yet subscribed. We will have content all throughout the summer. Oilers content, NHL content. I'm excited for the future of everything on this channel. The NHL draft, like I said, it was pure chaos. Tons of trades, tons of picks. A lot of players went lower than I thought. Some players went way higher than I thought, but that's the NHL draft. Hopefully the NHL decides to keep doing this in person. They initially announced that this would be the last in-person draft. You know what? I hope they see the positive response to the draft at the Sphere in Las Vegas, and I hope they continue to do in-person events, but we'll see what happens. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below, and as always, tell someone that you love them. That's super important to me. Fight like a kid, fight like Ben, as always. We'll see you next time, Oil Country. Take care.